Imagine this. You're in a store. You see a jacket with a price tag that says $250. Ouch, way too expensive. But right next to it is a big red sign. Sale. Now only $149. Suddenly, it feels like a steal. You walk away with the jacket, feeling proud of your smart purchase. Here's the twist. You didn't actually save $100. You spent $149. And the crazy part? That little trick wasn't an accident. It was your brain being hijacked by psychology. Today, I'm going to show you 7 mind tricks you didn't notice, but that secretly guide your decisions every single day. Some of them happen in stores, others in conversations, and some are probably affecting you right now. Once you learn these, you'll never see the world the same way again. We like to think we're rational creatures, that we make choices carefully, logically, with full awareness. But the truth? Most of our decisions aren't made with conscious thought. They're made with shortcuts, mental habits called cognitive biases that save brain power but often lead us straight into traps. Advertisers, salespeople, even the way news is presented, they all take advantage of these hidden mind tricks. And the wild part? These tricks work on everyone. It doesn't matter how smart, experienced, or skeptical you are. So in this video, I'll break down 7 of the most powerful psychological mind tricks that shape your everyday life. And along the way, I'll give you real examples so you can spot them the next time they sneak up on you. Let's start with the one you just experienced in that jacket story. Anchoring. Here's how it works. The first number you see acts as an anchor in your brain. Even if that number is random, it pulls your judgment toward it. There's this famous study. Researchers spun a wheel of fortune with numbers on it, completely random. Then they asked participants to guess how many African countries are in the United Nations. The crazy part. People who saw a high number on the wheel gave much higher guesses than people who saw a low number. The wheel had nothing to do with Africa or the UN, but the brain latched onto that number as an anchor. That's why stores show you the original price before the sale price. It's why real estate agents will show you a ridiculously overpriced house first, so the next one feels like a bargain in comparison. So next time you see a discount, or even when you negotiate a salary, remember, that first number isn't reality. It's just an anchor. You know when you learn a new word or start thinking about buying a car and suddenly it feels like that thing is everywhere? That's the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, also called the frequency illusion. It's not that the world changed. It's that your brain did. Once something enters your awareness, your mind unconsciously starts scanning for it. Example, the moment you buy white sneakers, suddenly everyone seems to be wearing white sneakers. Or when you hear about a rare condition, you start noticing it in movies, conversations, even social media. It feels like a coincidence. But really, it's your brain saying, hey, this is important now. Pay attention. This is why marketers want to get their product in front of you multiple times. The more you see it, the more your brain starts to feel like it's everywhere, and the more familiar and trustworthy it seems. Next up, framing. This is where the way information is presented changes how we feel about it, even if the facts are identical. Here's a simple example. A package of ground beef labeled 90% lean sounds healthy, but if the same package says 10% fat, suddenly it feels less appealing. Same meat, same numbers, just a different frame. Politicians and advertisers are masters at this. A government might say 95% employment instead of 5% unemployment. A product might be called 97% effective instead of 3% ineffective. The trick is the frame directs your emotional reaction, and once you notice it, you'll start seeing it everywhere. Okay, let's switch gears. Have you ever spilled a drink on your shirt and thought, oh no, everyone is staring at me? That's the spotlight effect. Psychologists ran an experiment where they had college students wear an embarrassing t-shirt, Barry Manilow's face, into a room full of people. The students were convinced that everyone noticed. But in reality, only about 20% of people paid attention. We massively overestimate how much others are watching us. Why? Because we're each the star of our own little movie. But to everyone else, you're just a background character. So the next time you feel self-conscious, remember, most people are too busy worrying about their own shirt stains to notice yours. Here's a powerful one. Humans hate losing more than we like winning. This is called loss aversion. Studies show that losing $100 feels about twice as painful as winning $100 feels good. Our brains are wired to avoid loss at almost any cost. That's why casinos give you chips instead of cash, so it doesn't feel like you're losing money. It's why marketing phrases like "don't miss out" or "only 3 left in stock" are so persuasive. They're not promising gains, they're threatening loss. So ask yourself, am I making this decision because it's truly good for me or just because I'm afraid of losing out? This one is sneaky. Confirmation bias is when we seek out and remember information that agrees with what we already believe and ignore everything else. Say you think a certain diet is the best. You'll notice success stories, positive reviews, and news headlines that support it. But when evidence shows the diet has flaws, you're more likely to dismiss it. This bias is why arguments online get so heated. People aren't looking for truth, they're looking for validation. The fix? Actively look for evidence that challenges your beliefs. It's uncomfortable, but it's the only way to avoid living in an echo chamber. Last but not least, the halo effect. When someone has one positive trait, we tend to assume they're great in other areas too. Attractive people are often judged as smarter, kinder, or more capable, even with no evidence. In job interviews, in classrooms, even on dating apps, this bias sneaks in. That's why people say, first impressions matter. Because that first glow, good or bad, casts a halo over everything else. Being aware of the halo effect helps you make fairer judgments, and it also helps you resist being unfairly influenced by someone's looks, charm, or confidence. So let's recap. Anchoring makes the first number stick. Frequency illusion makes you notice things everywhere. Framing changes how you feel without changing the facts. The spotlight effect reminds you nobody's really watching. Loss aversion keeps you clinging to what you have. Confirmation bias blinds you to the truth. The halo effect fools you with first impressions. These aren't just random quirks. They're proof that your brain runs on shortcuts. Shortcuts that save energy, but also leave you open to influence. Now here's my challenge for you. Which of these tricks have you caught yourself falling for recently? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories, because I guarantee you've experienced at least one of these in the past week. And if you found this video eye-opening, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps the channel out, and subscribe for more psychology and hidden brain secrets just like this one. Because once you understand how the mind works, you're no longer just a passenger in your own decisions. You're the driver.